Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and we give you the non-biased information you can use to make informed decisions. Well, guys, I think both of these projects, Stellar XLM, who's been getting a lot of adoption and is in the news constantly, and Algorand, who doesn't have a lot going on as far as newsworthy things, but I'm concerned both of these projects might be in trouble. Now, I'm not real concerned right now about XLM. I own it. I own both these projects. I plan to dollar cost average out in the next bull run. But I got something I want to share with you guys that I think has merit, and there is a true reason for concern. It's not fudge. And unless you like Algorand and XLM more than you like your money, guys, you should hear me out. And let me know in your comment section if this has merit or if I'm looking at it all wrong. But I'm going to give you a few bullet points of why I'm thinking like I am. You know, Mr. Wonderful, the Shark Tank, is big into crypto. And he said, look, I look at these projects like startup software companies. And that got me thinking that that makes sense because the valuation and the hype and all that is kind of similar. And I really believe you're going to have the same type scenario of like the .com days. I'm old enough. I was around during that time, guys. It was crazy. If any stock had anything to do with Web 1, Web 2, and .com, it exploded. And then literally overnight, the majority of them just disappeared. People lost a ton of money. However, Amazon and Microsoft and Apple and Google all came out of that base. And I think that's what's going to happen in crypto. Well, if that's true, what do you think the real variable is? Because it's not just utility, guys. That variable, I truly believe, is yes, it's going to have to be great technology and have real world utility and application, but the project's going to have to stand alone and make money to sustain the ecosystem, the validators, and all the people that are involved, the node operators, the developers, the future of that project's growth. They're going to have to stand alone at some point. Because if you think about it, guys, if you look at them as software companies, they're set up just like a company would go raise money. They spend a bunch of money, and 10 years down the road, you find out if the project is going to sink or swim. But at some point, you got to pay all those investors back or they're going to leave. You've got to be able to pay your employees, your taxes, your growth model, your marketing. And I don't see that crypto is going to be any different. And what really got me thinking was I just did a video that took me about 6 months to kind of wrap my head around what I was thinking. And it was about the most valuable projects in crypto. And when I mean by valuable, I meant by the ones that make money. And when you list the 22,000 projects, right, out, only about the top 25 make any money to speak of. And once it gets to like 26 and definitely 50, guys, it's pocket change what these projects make. Now, I know they're growing, but you got to think about it. All those people have to be paid. And if you want to grow that ecosystem, at some point, you can't just keep doing it from the printing of tokens that you keep adding to the supply. It's going to have to stand alone. And that's what I have concern about both these projects. Again, not that much about XLM right now, but it's something that's on my radar that I'm going to pay attention to. But guys, I'm really concerned that Algorand might not make it because it might not have a future. Now, let me know in the comment sections if this has merit. I'm not here to spread FUD. I own both of these projects. But hear me out and tell me if this makes sense. If not, guys, I don't know. It's your money. And like I said, I own both of them. And I may stack each one of them a little bit more as a swing trade if they fall apart or they keep bleeding like they're doing, because it wouldn't take any good news at all to make these things pump if they keep going lower and lower. So I'm not trying to spread FUD. I'm still a little bullish on XLM long term. I don't know the next bull run. I think it'll be fine. But Algorand, I'm really concerned. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. Hear me out. Let me know what you think. And by the way, hit that like button. All right, guys, what you're looking at on the screen is the fees that they have produced, these two projects, in the last month and 3 months, or last week and 3 months. I'm just going to go through the 3 months. Now, think about this, guys. In the last 3 months, with all the adoption with XLM and MoneyGram and everything that's been in the news, that blockchain has only produced $1,862 in fees. How is that going to feed an ecosystem and grow adoption? Would you want to build on that ecosystem? I wouldn't. And once that money runs out from the developers and the early investors, how is it going to stand alone? That's my concern. Now, when I go down to Algorand, Algorand basically doubled that. But in the last 3 months, Algorand has only produced $3,652 in fees. And that's why I'm concerned as well, because that is pocket change, guys. Ethereum does more than that, like probably per minute. It's done billions over time, and Algorand probably hasn't done, if I'm reading this right, hasn't done like 20, 30,000 in its lifetime. That is definitely concerning. So keep that in mind, because it gets a little worse. All right. Now, if we look at XLM's chart, guys, they've had a pretty decent run up in this year. But if we're lucky, it's going to go back down and test the lows of this bear market. That's when I'll start paying a lot more attention. But I think XLM is going to keep going lower. Now, why do I say that? Well, there's your weekly, there's your monthly, and today it's down again. But here's why I say that, guys. And guys, before you stack any token in a bear market, go look at token unlocks and go to Messari and see how much supply is being added. Because if they keep adding, that inflation to the market, it's going to keep going down. But now this is a yearly chart, guys, year to date. And roughly they've added about 2.5 billion tokens. That's not a huge amount, but that's a lot in a bear market to absorb. That's why XLM can't maintain a pump. And if they keep adding to the supply, it's probably going to keep going down. Now, I couldn't find the unlocks or the vesting schedule that I wanted to. I looked at Grayscale. I'm sure that they still dump a certain amount of supply. I couldn't find that information, but Messari shows that wherever the supply is coming from, it's being added every single day. So therefore, until something changes, XLM is probably going to keep going lower. And no matter what the news comes out, it will not maintain a pump, in my opinion. Now, let's get to what I'm really concerned about. This chart right here is terrifying. I normally love a blockchain to just keep bleeding, right? The lower, the better. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, HBAR, Quant. If any of those fell apart tomorrow, I'd be jumping up and down, and I'm ready to buy more. But the reason I'm concerned about Algorand, as good as the tech is and everything else, and they have a great roadmap and a great founder and all that, is they didn't make it all-time high from the last bull run, and they're making a historical low in this bear market. Now, if I saw a lot of positive news and a lot of developers adding into that, growing into that ecosystem, I wouldn't be as concerned. But here is why I'm really concerned, guys. Look at this. This is how many tokens they've added in this bull market or bear market. That doesn't look like a whole lot compared to Stellar, but guys, that's still about 700, 800 million tokens. That's a lot. Like, yeah, when you compare it to XLM or say XRP, it's not. But when you compare it to a project that doesn't have the adoption or the growth in their ecosystem like some of these other projects, guys, that's not a good sign. And you can't stand to have any of the supply added. Now, here's why I'm extremely concerned. And guys, really, I really just want to open up a dialogue and kind of, I'm not even really wanting to debate it. I really want to know what you guys think. Because here's why I think Algorand has a good chance to not make it. Because they've already got 7.8 billion tokens out of the supply. That's actually really good because that's 7.8 billion out of 10. So they can't add but so much supply. The reason that could be positive, if it was another project, it would be extremely positive because you can't get dumped on. But how's it going to pay its bills? How's it going to pay the validators? How is it going to pay the node operators? How is it going to grow that ecosystem when they can't use the money from the early investors and from the foundation to keep the blockchain going? Fast forward 2 or 3 years, guys, after this bull run. Well, they're going to bring in 3, 4, 5. Let's say they quadruple, 10x, 10x their transaction fees. They're still doing like what, 30,000 a month. That's not going to pay to grow a system that has billions of dollars in market cap, guys. And that's what it takes. It needs to have a lot more money and a lot to grow the ecosystem. How's it going to support itself? I truly am very, very bearish on Algorand. I know they're in India and Africa. They have some great plans for the future. But guys, I just don't see how they're going to turn this around. And when they get fully vested, right, fully diluted, I don't see how it's going to have enough transaction fees to support an ecosystem. And I know if I was a developer, I'm not going to go tie in to a project that I can't make a lot of money in and that I'm concerned about it going belly up. So I'm really concerned. I know that sounds negative. Like I said, I own Algorand and I may stack it if it crashes. But guys, I have no doubt this thing's going to keep bleeding as long as this bear market goes on. So that being said, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I know this sounded a little like FUD, but guys, let me know. Does it have merit? Because at some point, guys, whether it's 10 years from now, every one of these projects are going to have to make money. So this no gas fee and all that stuff, to me, the only way those projects are going to make it at those price points are if there are a corporation. I truly believe in the future, almost every project that makes it will be tied to a corporation. And I hate that. However, they're going to be able to charge fees just like JP Morgan. No one owns the JP Morgan token to use their blockchain or do their cross-border payments. It's all a fee-based service that goes on their corporation's bottom line. They can make money a lot of different ways to use that technology. They don't have to, the technology doesn't have to support itself. But if it comes from a developer or if it comes from a foundation, it's not only going to have to feed that ecosystem, the people in the foundation are going to want to make a profit somehow. And if they've already made all their money and they've already dumped, what's the reason to stick around? Just something to think, guys, because I truly believe 100% that at some point it's going to be like the .com days. We're going to have the crypto days where you go, remember those 22,000 projects? And there's, 200 left. But those 200 will be life-changing powerhouses. Whatever ones you think they are is up to you. Let me know what you think, guys. Did I get off on a wrong rant and I'm thinking about the wrong things? And take a look at the video that I made about the most valuable projects, because guys, they're doing billions or hundreds of millions of dollars stand alone. They don't need VC money to keep growing the ecosystem or none of that. They're already making money. So if you're a developer or you have a project that you want to launch, you're going to launch it on a project that can sustain itself. So these low 0.0001 type fees might not be the future. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button, and either way, guys, come back and be part of this community, because I know this sounds negative, but I can't be more bullish for what's coming in the future. I think it's the best opportunity in history for all of us to make money, but I don't think these two projects are the ones that's going to be life changing. I hope I'm wrong. Take care, guys.